Watchai, or Happy Chinese New Year, Year of the Ox to all our Chinese friends out there. This is Stock Market Investor Live. Today came news about ABS-CBN's franchise can wait, says House Speaker. The franchise renewal of ABS-CBN will have to wait until the next Congress, as measures to address the pandemic will be the priority of lawmakers. House Speaker Lord Alan J. Velasco said on Thursday, days after the President vowed to block the network's operation. So, this is, meanwhile, Deputy Speaker and Buhay Party List Representative Jose Lito L. Atienza Jr. said, lawmakers should stop its pursuit of loans availed by the Lopez Group of companies that were allegedly condoned by the state-led Development Bank of the Philippines, or DBP. Claims that loans were written off were among the issues during hearings on ABS-CBN's franchise extension before lawmakers voted against its renewal. Mr. Atienza said that the issue is unvalidated since documents related to the alleged write-off were from 2 decades ago, with DBP saying in a House probe in January that these documents were already disposed of. DBP also denied any condonation, saying the loans were sold to Lehman Brothers Asia Limited through a special purpose vehicle of the non-performing assets of the state lender. So then, the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability voted on the motion to issue a subpoena for the said documents of the transaction, even if the National Archives of the Philippines Act states the retention of documents must only be for 5 years. Going on to Reuters, the main news is stock edge lower on Biden, warning about China. And China will eat our lunch, Biden warns after clashing with Xi on most fronts. China will eat our lunch, Biden warns after clashing with Xi on most fronts. This is news today. U.S. President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping held their first phone call as leaders and appeared at odds on most issues, even as Xi warned that confrontation would be a disaster for both nations. While Xi has called for win-win cooperation, Biden has called China America's most serious competitor and vowed to outcompete Beijing. On Thursday, Biden told a bipartisan group of U.S. senators at a meeting on the need to upgrade U.S. infrastructure. The United States must raise its game in the face of the Chinese challenge. Biden said he spoke to Xi for 2 hours on Wednesday night and warned the senators, if we don't get moving, they are going to eat our lunch. They are investing billions of dollars dealing with a whole range of issues that relate to transportation, the environment, and a whole range of other things. We just have to step up. So, in the world arena, we can see that there are 2 global powers which pertains to this news. And in the context of that, the Philippines being adjacent to China will be affected between the tussle or the relationship between these two nations. So this is very important to our investment as a full-time stock market investor, since we might either benefit from having China dominating the world, or we might, there are negative sides, maybe having also China dominating the world. Uh, on the other side, the US have been the sole superpower in the world, and we've been a closest ally of that superpower ever since. So since we are investors, it doesn't matter because we don't have face. What I mean is, we put our money to the best interest of our investment portfolio. Whether it will be affected negatively or positively, that's what the news will provide us a hint or information to where we will put our investment. Either physically, that means we have to move out our investment, or to move our investment into particular stocks. As we can see, guys, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index fell 1.29% when that news came about China and the US. So it fell. Although it fell, so we analyze our investment. So with those news, I think we're in the best position, having invested in GMA Network Inc. We bought it at a price of 5.9482 pesos per share, and we own 25,800 shares. So we currently own GMA Network Inc. and it is composed of 14.39% of our portfolio. So our investments in the power companies, of course, power is a necessity that every citizen of the Philippines need, every Filipino people, because power is very important in the present days. Our present lifestyle requires power, and it is a basic need. So it's an investment based on that premise. We put our money in these three power companies: SPC Power Corporation and the Manila Electric Company, as well as AC Energy Corporation. However, AC Energy Corporation dividends is very small compared to the two power companies. Based on my recollection, Manila Electric Company gives a dividend yield of 5%. And SPC Power Corporation, at this price level we have bought at 7.1277, we receive a dividend yield of 14%. And the last dividend given by AC Energy, I think we can only give at least not even 1%, I think 0.01%. That's why only 26% of our portfolio we allocated to AC Energy. Actually, we bought more shares before and sold some, and leave the 400 shares, which is our profit when we sold the shares that we have actually bought on AC Energy Corporations. This 400 is only the gain that we earned from the investment when we bought AC Energy. So we retained 400 of the total shares that we bought from AC Energy. So once again, to our dear friends and everybody, dear friends and Chinese friends out there, Kung Hei Fat Choi, or Happy Chinese New Year of the Ox.